Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio. I hope you had a fantastic weekend. A little windy here in northern Colorado. Yep, a little windy, a little annoying because it's no fun running in the wind, I'll tell you that. And it's no fun doing farm chores in the wind either. No. It's not good at all. So I was a little annoyed with the way the weekend went, but and I didn't get a lot done outside. But nonetheless, I did get some rest in and some family time, which is always good. So yeah, I tried a couple new recipes too, which, I think I have to do a little tweaking on them, but when I get the tweaking in, I'll be sure to pass them on to you because I'm getting a lot of requests for your recipes, for low carbohydrate, of course, no sugar recipes. I promise you can eat so well, eating low carb and high fat and low sugar. You can do it. I swear, you can do it. I do it all the time. So as I perfect more recipes, new ones, I'm going to pass them on to you. So I hope you'll enjoy those. Oh my goodness. I'm going to get heated. I'm warning you now because there's been some things going on, that, man, it just blows my mind. Like, how can you be so disconnected to what people really need, right? How can you be? Well, I know how it happens. I know perfectly well how it happens, and I'm sure you do too. But gosh, we got a real problem here, people. We got a real problem here. We are so disconnected. Like you and I are out here, living in the world. Yep, you and I, we're living in the world. We're out here trying to, get things done, go to work every day, pay these ridiculous prices on groceries, pay ridiculous prices and premiums on healthcare, just scratching our heads going, what the hell is going on here? Because we're dealing with people who appear to, don't know what to do in the world. And you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? This customer service problem, everything, the quality of everything seems to have slipped, right? And here's you and I, we're like trying to fill in the gaps here. We're like, oh my gosh, is this person crazy? Like what's going on? Why can't, nobody cares about their job. Like I can't get my car fixed for the life of me. Like we've taken our truck into so many different places to get fixed. And it's just like, it's still not fixed. What are you people doing? What actually is happening here? So there's this massive disconnect. And then you guys, we have the elites, right? These people who are getting wealthy, quite honestly, off of us. Okay. Because if you're a celebrity, nobody's watching your shows, paying for your movies, going to your plays, buying your music. It's us, right? There isn't magical people putting money in your pocket for your art, okay? It's actually us doing that. And if you're a politician, which I guess now makes you a celebrity for some strange reason, but it does, whether you are in politics yourself or if you just comment on politics, now I guess you're a celebrity. You got to act like one, you got to dress like one. I mean, I just saw over the weekend, Laura Trump's video. What are we doing here? She's rapping or dancing around a rapper in, lavishness. What are we doing here, right? Like, what are we doing? What are you doing? Okay. Because I'll tell you what, if you're normal, just regular old me, right? Regular old you, we don't care about this anymore. We don't care about your yachts. We don't care about your pristine mansion where your kitchen never gets dirty. Your perfectly manicured everything in your house on Instagram. We don't care. Okay? Like, I don't know how much more we can let you know that we don't care. The reason why we don't care is because we got really big problems here. Like I saw another story about in Massachusetts, these electricity bills are just skyrocketing, right? This lady's like, oh my gosh, here's my actual electricity use. And then I've got this, quote, delivery fee, which the delivery fee is like $300 and some. Okay. So it's not even for the electricity. It's for the delivery fee. Remember, we talked about those fees, fee, right? It's just a way for them to claw back some of the money from you that they need to build infrastructure or what have you. Anyway, what I'm getting at here is, hello, we do not care. Okay? We don't care. We don't care if you're sipping Dom on a yacht. We don't care. I cannot stress that enough that we don't care. Okay? And then this video comes out. Have you seen this? This is Mar-a-Lago. Take a little peek at this, would ya?
And the way you look tonight.
What actually are we doing here? What is this? Have you ever been to a party where people are wearing dog masks and dancing around in Victorian attire? Because I haven't. I mean, we tell a lot of jokes about that around my household. Oh, are they wearing their yak head today? Because that's crazy. It's crazy to behave like that, and to think that that's entertainment is weird. And I'm not alone. I'm not alone in this thinking. Guess who else thinks this is incredibly crazy? One of my favorites recently. If you want to know, get a good pulse for what's going on in the world, then we must turn to our comedians. And one of my favorites, of course, covered it. Here's Tim Dillon.
By the way, does anyone look at the optics of this? I don't want to hear anything about Hollywood, by the way, anymore from anybody. I don't want to hear about Hollywood and this party and that party. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? Didn't a furry supposedly shoot Charlie Kirk, or like the lover of the furry? Isn't that was like days ago? Like months ago, just the optics of it. And I'm not a prude. Have parties, dress up in a costume, whatever. But don't you think that somebody would say, you know what? Americans are broke. Having a eyes wide shut.
Yeah. It's like, again, we don't care. Okay. Like your little rituals, okay, elitist, globalist, whatever, like your little rituals they're just ridiculous. Like are you channeling the energy here? Is that what you're doing? Are you channeling in all the energy so you can do whatever you guys do with your rituals? Because it's not like you're not hiding anybody, you're not fooling anybody. We're all onto it. We know what you do with your little rituals, and oh, you're so fancy. You're just so fancy. So, let me just tell you here. So animal masks, I did a little research on this because I found this particularly irritating because, this video went viral. Like it wasn't an accident that it went out. It's more of this is what we do. And I don't know if this has anything to do with Trump because, as many people pointed out, like I saw in comments, like he rents the place out. He rents the place out for parties and whatnot. So I don't know what his affiliation was or wasn't with this party. I just know that this is symbolic. Okay? And let me just tell you a little brief things, what this signals to people. Animal masks are worn at elite secretive parties. They are symbolic. Okay. Especially like in the movie, Eyes Wide Shut, Kubrick used he used it deliberately, because nothing in the film Eyes Wide Shut is actually accidental. And so you can think, oh, it's just art. It's just a movie. No, it's not. It's not actually. Nothing was accidental in the movie. Masks mean psychological, cultural, and have a philosophical significance. The core meaning is power without identity. The masks represent people who no longer need a public identity to exert control. These are individuals whose status protects them. They are anonymous, not because they are powerless, but because they are untouchable. And this video going viral is precisely that, signaling to you. They are above you. Their masks remove accountability, and the message is real power doesn't need a name. Animal imagery is used to symbolize instinct over morality. And the mask suggests predatory behavior, dominance hierarchies, appetite without conscience, humans acting below moral restraint. Oh, there's so much more. It's interesting timing, isn't it? Because, things are a little tense around the globe, aren't they? Stay tuned, everybody. We'll talk more about this craziness when we come back. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert Garcia. So glad you were here.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen.
Thank you so much to everybody who supports the show. So grateful for you. If you're new here and you'd like to support the show, you can by going to naturalinspiredstore.com. All the wellness products on the January specials tab are buy one, get one free. So take advantage today. Go to naturalinspiredstore.com. If you have any questions about any of the products, text me 720-303-8868. I guess what's got me kind of like wound up about this is that I feel like it is it's an in-your-face type of thing. Here we're like, listen, there's more to the movement around the globalists, the elite, the billionaires that control the country. We're on to you. We're on to this, government corporate model that dictates how we live. We're on to it, right? I mean, we're on to the whole thing. We know about your satanic rituals that go on behind the scenes. We know about the trafficking. We know. And we're doing our best out here. We're doing our best to model good behavior for our own kids. We're doing our best to try to shift the culture by being good citizens and having these really difficult conversations with normies that think we're nuts. And, we're doing our best out here. And I don't know what this is. Signaling why Tim Dillon's right. The optics of this alone. I mean, nobody thought this through. Yeah. Charlie Kirk was assassinated publicly. And the guy who, supposedly, allegedly pulled the trigger. Sure. Mm-hmm. Yep. His boyfriend was a furry. And then we've got this really bizarre eyes wide shut party. It's so insulting, right? Have we seen Tim Waltz get arrested yet? Did that happen and I missed it? It's just you know what? You're so disconnected from what the people want to see. I mean, there's been a lot of good things happening and I'm not trying to take away from them, but a little force, who approved this? This is, well, I don't know. You want to rile us up? I guess this is the way to do it, right? So in psychology and mythology, animals often represent primitive drives, the ID, the id, if you will, from what's his name? the gross guy, the psychologist, Sigmund Freud. There we go. Holy man, just went brain-blank there for a second. It represents sexual instinct, aggression, survival over empathy. And in the movie Eyes Wide Shut, Kubrick is showing the masks because that's what happens when civilization is stripped away from a group of people. They become very animalistic. Like it's like Lord of the Flies type of thing, right? Except for sexual perverts, you know? Even Carl Jung talked about this, and from his perspective, from Jung's perspective, the mask, it represents your shadow person, the person that you in civilized society suppress, I guess, right? You know it's not acceptable to behave this way. So the mask represents your shadow person, and the animal represents repressed instinct. So these characters are indulging the parts of themselves society tells them to suppress, but doing so without consequence, right? In these crazy elitist circles. So this contrasts with people like us, which we're like looking at this going, what is this? Because we're not from their world, so it's almost like a flex on us that we can do whatever we want. And you people have no idea. You people have no idea. In the movie Eyes Wide Shut, this is elite ritualism. Kubrick wasn't saying these exact parties happen, as he depicted, but he was commenting on. He was showing you inside the circles, right? He was showing you inside not that he had, I don't think that he had been there, but this is what he understands that go on in closed power systems, elite separation from moral norms, where we live in the moral norm. They have their own world inside of these mansions, as he depicted in the movie. And that, sex was currency to them. Isn't that interesting? Given the reoccurring theme of sex trafficking that continues to come up. And of course, your wealth insulates you from any sort of consequence, like the law. So, yeah, I can't actually believe that they allowed that video to go out, and I'm not sure who they're signaling to, but, I'm not accusing Trump of anything. I don't even know. Like I said, I don't know what this was, but it's a definite signal. And at this point, it's so incredibly insulting that the elite have no idea how we're living out here. No idea. And there's even further proof, right? As I was browsing through the things that were going on in the world, getting ready for the show today, I came across this. This is, do you remember Ellen? Yeah, here she comes again. Here's Ellen, the elitist.
Hey, everybody. I just wanted to say I am so sorry for what is happening in Minneapolis and our country, really. But specifically Minneapolis right now, because it's where I shot my last stand-up special, and everybody there couldn't have been more lovely. I shot it there because they say it's the happiest city in America, and I found that to be true. So my thoughts and my prayers are going out to everyone, and I'm proud of everyone who's protesting peacefully, and I am sorry for anyone who has been hurt, just for protesting, for doing what you should be doing. Anyway, I just sending love.
She's sending love. She's sending love. Did you happen to see this? Also, a journalist. I think his last name was Flat. I think the journalist, like a citizen journalist, maybe. Or maybe it was Lang. I can't remember. I'll look it up as we play the clip here. But anyway, Ellen, She's so sorry. Everything that's happening. She's so proud of you for protesting. Watch what this angry mob did to a citizen journalist here.
That's him! That's him! Is that him? Is that him? Yes! Open the door! Oh my God. Drive! Oh my God. Just drive! Stop! Wait, let them go! Let them go! Hey, pull over! Pull over! Hey, leave it! Get out of here! Leave it up! Get out of here! No! Y'all just let him leave! It's not worth it! Hey! We don't know him! Stop it! Let him out! Let him out!
She's so proud of you. She's so proud of you for doing what you're supposed to be doing. Did you see Ellen there in the street? What about the dog masks? Did you see anybody dancing in the Victorian dog masks, or did you just see like regular people like you and I, right? What about here? Check this out. Kids worked into a tizzy, over fables, over lies, over propaganda. It's just despicable, isn't it? Isn't it just despicable? I mean, they sit there from their ivory towers. Oh, poor Ellen. Ellen feels so bad for, so bad. She feels so bad, you guys. But you don't see her out in the streets protesting, do you? Oh, she can't. That's right, she can't, because she's a celebrity. When are we going to get tired enough of this? This is what they want. We have real problems. Real problems. People are struggling to pay their electricity bills. People are struggling to get real health care, to get connected to real solutions for health. They're being lied to by their healthcare model. They can't get any real help. Nobody listens to them. And then our tax dollars. Our tax dollars are being, we are being robbed blind all the time. All the time. With all this fraud and everything, it brings me back to the good old days of Black Lives Matter. Remember when that happened? And we had everybody you knew was blacking out online. Oh, blackout in solidarity for racism. Yeah, those were a couple of marketing gals that were put in charge to collect the funds. And then they ended up buying mansions, all over the country. And they embezzled money to their baby daddy. And, it all came out in the wash that they were scam artists. They were total scam artists. And many of our friends and family don't even speak to us anymore because we didn't black out. Am I the only one that asks questions about this? I didn't even grow up on the streets necessarily. Sure, it was like lower middle class family, a little bit of a rough neighborhood, but it's not like I grew up in Compton or something. I don't know. How did I know? How did I know? Is that just my Gen X upbringing? Are you unable to recognize a scam when you see it? It's just gotten so incredibly ridiculous. It's insulting. It's insulting. They're stealing our money, just putting it through the pipeline through baby daddy and Somalian hubby and daycare, healthcare, transport. And we're all sitting here trying to figure out how to pay our electric bill. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Did you know 80% of beef consumed in the U.S. comes from 4 major corporations, much of it being imported or processed with additives? Want real beef from a real farm? Pumpkin Creek Ranch does things the right way. Local, grass-fed, dry-aged beef with no additives, no shortcuts, just honest quality.
Pumpkin Creek Ranch beef is the real deal. I love knowing exactly where my meat comes from. No additives, no nonsense, just honest quality beef.
Best beef I've ever had. You can taste the difference. Rich, tender, and packed with real flavor. Plus, supporting a local ranch makes it even better.
From pasture to plate, they raise their cattle with care, so you can get rich, natural flavor that only real ranching can provide. Stock your freezer with premium beef you can trust. Visit pumpkincreekranchco.com or call 970-658-0176.
I'm trying to make up the difference here for customer service because I know what I want. You know, when I buy something, I actually like talking to the people I'm buying from. I want to know what I'm supporting. And so I offer concierge service to all of our members. So if you just need like, oh, I don't know, should I go for this? Should I take that? I'm not really sure what I need. I am happy. And then there's a whole nother demographic of people that like, they don't like dealing with technology. You know, they want to talk to somebody on the phone, and I am very responsive to that. I can totally understand that. And so that's why I offer the service that I do. So if you need help placing an order, you just don't want to deal with the computer, you'd rather just, you know, have a few questions answered, no problem. I offer concierge service to all of our members of Naturally Inspired Community. You can text me, call me, 720-303-8868. And if you call me, leave a message. It'll take me a little bit to get back with you because I'm usually in assessments or I'm recording or I'm interviewing somewhere else because it's pretty busy around here these days. But I promise I'm happy to get back with you because it's actually my favorite thing to do is have conversations with you. So 720-303-8868, concierge service for all members at naturallyinspiredstore.com. Yeah, I'm sorry I'm getting worked up over this. Actually, I'm not. But maybe you think like, wow, like she's getting worked up about this. This is like, you know, I'm tired of it. You know, I talk to people every day who are suffering from a direct result of our broken medical system. And it's just not moving fast enough. And if you got time to have a party, you know, where you're all putting on doggy masks, walking around like dogs, and you're bumping up against the rappers, you know, in a mansion and stuff. I just don't. Let's get on with it. You know, you are really doing a disservice to the work that you are doing. You need to connect with the people here. You really need to connect with the people here. Because yeah, we got some big problems, and it's like, you know, that's not what we want. We don't want to view your lavish lifestyle through the portal, of course, which is the phone. That's not what we want. No. We want to know that you understand that we are having trouble making ends meet. We want you to be grateful and acknowledge the workforce. The people that actually go to work every day, you know, and make things happen and build our roads, build our houses, repair stuff, even though God bless you, the people that repair stuff, because you're like a dwindling breed. I'm just like, oh, please hang on to the treasure of the people who fix stuff. Please. Because what are we going to do when all the people that fix stuff, there aren't any left? Because guys, again, we really need to funnel more people into the fixing stuff area. They're just so incredibly, like I said, detached. You know, they're focusing on all of the bells and whistles everywhere, and we could care less about any bells and whistles here. We're just trying to like keep going. And this stuff that they put out online signaling to us is a direct slap in the face that clearly you do not understand what we want. Like, you know what? We're getting to the point, I think, where, yeah, great. You know, you can have your Rolexes and your weird parties and whatever you're going to do. Fine, go have that. But the more we get ignored, then the less tolerant we're going to be of that. And I think that every politician, every even influencer, okay, because we're kind of over the influencing thing too, right? Oh, it's so fun. I'm over here. I'm at this. Who cares? We don't care. We don't care because we're concerned with our own very serious problems, right? But nonetheless, you know, it's going to take a long time for these people to actually get it because they just don't quite get it. Listen to this clip from Fox News. This will
Give you
boil
the
your
perfect
blood.
example. How about Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar? In February of this year, she shot down claims that she's actually a millionaire. She wrote, "My salary is $174,000 before taxes. I don't have stock or own a home. And I'm still paying off my student debt. So if you're going to lie on something that is public, maybe try checking my financial statements, and you will see I barely have thousands, let alone millions." Well, people have checked the public records now. Ilhan Omar apparently has a net worth upwards of $30 million, somewhere between $60 and $30 million. And get this, it's because of companies run and owned by her husband, who in 2023 had a net worth of $51,000. In 1 year, that $51,000 grew from $6 to $30 million. 3,500% growth in 1 year. What a good communist. It's always equality for you, elitism for...
Now do Nancy Pelosi. Now do everybody in Congress, right? Like, you know, it just like, do something. Do something about this. Do something about this. You're telling me this husband of hers is just like, you know, I mean, he's got to be something. He's just like got the Somali magic. He comes over and he's worth $51,000, and in 1 year he amasses millions of dollars. Is there Somali magic that we don't know about? I mean, you come to America with Somali magic and suddenly you are driving a Mercedes-Benz and, you know, walking around with Rolexes and chains, and you're running, you know, millions and millions of dollars through your daycare. Do something about this. I think I speak on behalf of many, many Americans. You know, now go back to Ellen's little video there. Oh, you're doing the right thing, you know. No, listen. Listen. From Chuck Schumer himself. Listen.
The budget actually we're working on right now, and we'll have the T-HUD budget, you know, transportation and HUD budget. We restore most of the cuts. And even go higher than previous years on many of the programs that DOJ slashed. When I met our nominee for HUD secretary, then he was nominee, he talked a nice game, but he doesn't seem to have the clout to make those views prevail over the DOJ people, over the cut people. But we have worked really hard in the budget and gotten bipartisan support to increase these amounts and undo a lot of the cuts, which are
undo the cuts. Like, okay, I get it. You know, you've got a bleeding heart. Maybe you work for the government and your little research project is being funded by government dollars. So you're mad because they cut all this spend. Have a moment of clarity, please. Have a moment of clarity. These people are stealing your money. They are stealing hard-earned tax dollars from families. From you. How can you these fake NGOs. I mean, we've talked about this on the show. This is just a way to launder money. If you look at some of these charities, sometimes 1% or less actually makes it to the cause. I mean, I have to laugh because, like, how could you be so cognitively impaired that you would support this? Oh, yes, give them our money. Please give them our money back. Oh, I want to give you because you're black? You're from Somalia and you're black? You can just come here and steal from American citizens? This somehow justifies it to you? I just think you don't have a clue what's going on. You see, you're stuck in Ellen land. You're stuck in Ellen land where you're sitting in her audience and you're just there to dance and laugh and, right? Everything's funny. No. This is a whole racket going here. This is an organized racket. And you're the sucker. I'm the sucker. Because we're getting up and we're going to work every day and we're trying to, and we actually care about our country. You know, we have all these emotions about being a patriot and what it means to be American. And these people are robbing our country blind. And as long as they're able to continue having their parties with their dog masks on, dancing around in high society attire and all of that, well, then everything's fine. And we can continue to, move the ball down the field as long as it's like, it appears that we're doing stuff here. It's just not happening fast enough here. And like I said, if you have time to be putting out videos with yourself in the rap videos and all of that, like you're signaling that you are so incredibly disconnected with what Americans need at this time. So incredibly disconnected. And it would just be nice, to have a little bit of unity. Again, you see these liberals in the street in Minnesota and they're screaming and they're causing problems for ICE and like, what? Like, I realize that you can't reason with the unreasonable, but you would think that we would be able to get some unity that we together, all of us, we don't want to be frauded, right? We don't want our money stolen. We don't want new people here that have been here a year turning themselves into millionaires with our money. We have vets that are homeless. We've got a major drug problem. We have lots of kids that have problems. Like, we have a lot of issues. You would think that we could unite on that. But I tell you, the spell is deep. And their consciousness has been captured. Stay tuned. Your naturally inspired moment is up next.
Did you know that nearly 70% of Americans struggle with their health every single day? That's why we are reaching out to health professionals and to anyone who simply has a heart for helping people. Right now, there's an opportunity to make a real difference in people's lives while building a flexible income stream for yourself. Whether you're already working in health, wellness, or just passionate about seeing people thrive, we want to connect with you and introduce you to our system. Together, we can provide real solutions that empower people to take control of their health and create lasting impact. If you've been looking for a way to combine purpose with income, this is it. Visit simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. That's simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. We look forward to working with you.
Welcome back. You can schedule your free assessment with me. Let's sit down. We'll have a chat, figure out where you are and where you'd like to be with your optimum health. Do it at naturallyinspiredstore.com or just shoot me a text, 720-303-8868. Listen, I know this administration is moving, things are happening, and I'm grateful for that. I am. But this weirdness of the cult, okay? This weirdness of the cult, the globalist cult, right? We've talked about this. Why are they so, easily, I'm a Muslim, but I'm also wear a yarmulke. Oh, I'm a Christian, but I also wear a yarmulke. Oh, I'm this day, I'm this, that day. I'm telling you, for many of these people, they already hold a common religion. It's a cult. They worship Lucifer. They worship the light. Okay? This is a cult that they all belong to. And it's a gang. You're jumped in and you don't get out. Okay? I know it's crazy, but you know what? You know it's true. All the signs are there. And then this guy just had an island. He just had an island. Oh, he just had a fun island where all these people went. And yeah, there's this whole list and blah, blah, blah. But nobody ever did anything wrong. I'm telling you, there's a cult. They operate in it. You get accepted into it. It can be concealed behind religion, and I think it is. And that's how this whole thing operates. Every once in a while, they signal to us and they let us know, yeah, we're in a cult. And there ain't anything you can do about it. So, I don't know. Is Trump in the cult? I don't know. I'm not blaming solely Trump here. Yeah, that party happened at Mar-a-Lago, but this thing goes way beyond him. It was here before Trump was born, and it'll be here when Trump is gone. Until people wake up and they understand with what's actually going on in the world and how the world works, I think we do that through coming into our higher faculties, which I talk about all the time. But let's get to our naturally inspired moment. Higher faculties means understanding more about yourself, understanding more about your own capabilities and how you can move through the world using everything that you have, right? For your own betterment and for the betterment of your community and the people around you. So today I want to talk about, for the naturally inspired moment, today I want to talk about how the story you tell yourself controls your outcomes. So, we all have stories in our minds, right? Sometimes I talk about food stories, and this is very helpful because people, have kind of a record that they play around food. Like, this food is a reward for this. And if I don't get to have this food, well, then I'm being deprived. And then that creates, negative feelings. And this kind of cycle continues, these habits that aren't contributing to our health. But we have a lot of stories that we tell ourselves. Every person is living inside a story, not just the story of what happened to them, but the story they keep telling themselves about what happened. So that inner narrative quietly shapes our health choices, our relationships, our courage to do something or not to do something, and even what we believe that is possible. So when we want to make changes, we have to change the story, because when you change the story, you change the outcome. For example, many times when I'm talking with people, just weight loss is such a great example of this because it's very concrete, right? And a lot of people struggle with it in this country. So, a lot of times when people come to me, they're at their wits' end. They're like, I'll try anything, right? But they often say, I've tried everything and nothing works. And this is a belief. I've tried everything and nothing works. Yeah, that's a story that needs to be rewritten. Because if you truly believe you've tried everything and nothing works, then you're right. You're right. And so just a simple switch of your storytelling can change your results. So guess what? Surprise, surprise. You haven't tried everything. You haven't tried everything. Maybe you've tried a lot of things, but you haven't tried everything. So nothing works. Well, nothing's worked yet, right? Nothing's worked yet. But, your history doesn't predict your future. Thankfully, it doesn't. Just because historically nothing has worked doesn't mean that something won't work in the future. So you've got to get rid of those stories that are keeping you locked in to the results that you have right now. They're keeping you stuck in life. So it's a good thing to rewrite your story, and that will redirect your life. So how do you do that? Okay, number one, you got to change from victim to author. Okay, so if life is something that keeps happening to you, this is what happens. I've tried everything and nothing works. Your power stays locked away. You have no control. Okay. But when you see yourself as the creator of your life, right? You're the author writing the story. You regain your agency because it's your story. You're writing it. You can write something different. So here are some things that you might want to rewrite. This always happens to me. Oh, I'm always a minute late and a dollar short, or whatever that saying is. I always miss out is the context of what I'm trying to say, right? Yeah, that figures. I always miss out, right? That's a story. That's a story that you tell yourself. And you've got to switch it if you want different results. My kid's really good at this. Both of my kids are really good at this. But specifically, I'm thinking I've heard both of them say of course, oh yeah, that totally happened, because that stuff always happens to me. If something good happens to them, I was like, yeah, of course. And I can remember when my son was really little, he just had this incredible power to get what he wanted without being a manipulative little brat. You know what I mean? But I remember one time we went out for breakfast, and it smelled like cookies in there. And he kept asking me for a cookie. I want a cookie. I want a cookie. And I said, no, you're not going to have a cookie. I'm not getting you a cookie right now. You can have something when we get home later. You just had breakfast. You're not having the cookie. And lo and behold, what happens is the waitress comes by, and she's got a whole plate of freshly baked cookies. And she says to me, can I give him a cookie? Is that okay with you? And I'm like, that is the story of my life with this kid. And he just looked at me. I'm like, okay, so you can have the cookie because, this nice lady wanted to give it to him, and she felt so excited about giving it to him and stuff. I just couldn't be the bad guy to let it go. But that's the attitude that kid carries, and he carries it everywhere. It's like he's expecting good stuff to happen all the time. He's expecting it. And same with my daughter. She's like that too. She expects oh yeah, of course that happened. It's like, what? You just got into that? You didn't even what? Yeah. Just happened. Yeah, it's great. We need to do that, and I know in our generation, we weren't raised that way. So it takes work to kind of reprogram your brain. So what am I choosing next? Instead of saying this always happens to me, switch it to what am I choosing next? Because empowerment begins where responsibility returns, right? You're the author. Number 2, edit the meaning, not the memory. So you don't have to erase the past to change the future. You just have to stop letting old experiences define your identity. So you say, wow, that really broke me back then. That really broke me. No, that trained you. That prepared you. That prepared you for today. The same event can be a prison or it can be a proving ground. Number 3, upgrade your inner language. Your nervous system listens to your words. Oh my gosh, that is so true. Because as you know, I'm working on trying to master my nervous system. And we program our nervous system with our words because our words create feelings in our body. They create feelings in our body. So if your self-talk is harsh, if it's always rushed in a hurry, If you feel like it's never going to work out, you're kind of hopeless around it, your body responds with stress and shuts down. So instead of being like, I'm behind, I've got to hurry, you can say, I'm becoming, right? You're not there yet, but you are becoming. Every day that you practice the habits, the actions that get you, that you know will get you where you want to go, you are becoming. You are becoming that person. And peace enters when pressure exits, right? You don't have to have a timeline. You're just like, your timeline is every day. When you accomplish what you promised yourself you would accomplish. That's a win. Every day is a win. Number 4, shift from surviving to designing. You're the designer of your life. Survival mode keeps you reactive, right? Survival's like, I got to hang on to what I have. I got to keep going. I'm just making it. Like no. Switch to design. How do you truly want your life to be and design it that way? You are the designer. You have a choice. Many people feel like, I don't have a choice. Yes, you do. You just don't like the choices that you have. You don't have to settle for those. Design a different way. Creativity comes into play here, right? So shift from surviving to designing. Survival mode keeps you reactive. Design mode helps you build a life aligned with your values, your health, your freedom, your faith, your family. You can incorporate all of that if you're designing it. Now, if you're letting life happen to you and you're just in survival mode, then it's very difficult. So rewrite. I'm just trying to get through it. I'm just trying to keep going to I'm creating something better. I'm in creation mode here. I'm designing things. Intentional living creates intentional outcomes. Number 5, speak the future you want to live because your words plant seeds. What you consistently say about your body, about your marriage, about your relationships, about your finances, about your purpose, about your health, eventually becomes familiar, and then it becomes real. So I'm healthy, I'm strong, I'm working towards this, I'm working towards that. This is instead of saying things like, well, this is how it is what it is. No, it isn't. Doesn't have to be. Stop using those words and start speaking empowerment into your life. This is where I'm going. This is what I'm going to do. I'm designing new things in my life. I'm creating. Faith isn't, and it's not pretending, right? I hate it when people say, well, you have to fake it till you make it or whatever. I don't know. It's not pretending. You're working towards it, right? It's aligning your words with the truth before the evidence appears. So I am well. I am strong. I am athletic. Getting more and more athletic every day. Getting on the floor, doing a few exercises. It's the truth. You're working towards it. How the story you tell yourself controls your outcomes. Try rewriting a story today. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert-Garcia, and I am so glad you're here. Stay tuned because Hour 2 and the news is coming up next.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio. Save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Welcome back. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. I hope you got your coffee. I hope you've been listening. But if you missed the first hour, you got to go back and listen to it. We're talking about this crazy elitist party where all these freak shows are walking around in dog masks and dancing in weird attire in dog masks. And this is somehow supposed to be some kind of entertainment. Meanwhile, we're being robbed blind and kudos to ICE. I know stuff is happening there. I do know stuff that, stuff is happening behind the scenes, but I think it's just a result of just the fakeness of social media. Like everybody's on the fake train, and, it's always about, these wealthy parties and all of this flexing of materialism. And I'm just over it. I am so over it. It's gluttony. It's gross. I'm not impressed. I'm disgusted. Like, we have so many issues going on, and I get it. People want to go out and have fun. I'm not begrudging people going out and having fun. I'm begrudging the fakeness of it all. It is just so fake. There's no authenticity. And, I just wish people would be real. Because, it really does a lot of harm, especially to mental health, when, the projection online is that everything is just perfect. We're so rich. We don't have any problems. We're dancing around in dog masks and we don't have any problems. But in reality, you got some problems, right? Clearly their problems are probably bigger than ours, honestly. But the facade that everything is just perfect, and I'm just whisking away for a few days to Mexico, and that's all anybody shows online. They only show the highlight reel, and that's contributing to a huge mental health problem, because there's people out there that are comparing themselves to everybody's highlight reel, including impressionable children, and it just ain't real, guys. It's not real. Like Jason and I got to talking about this while we were waiting yet again to have the truck fixed. And I'm not bitter, trust me. But anyway, we were talking about this, and it's just like, it is just all so fake. It's so strange, because everywhere I look online, there are beautiful people, just perfect, picture perfect. They got the Louis Vuitton on, they got the, they're jet setting, they got the long, gorgeous hair, the big eyelashes, the full lips, not a wrinkle in sight, everything's just, but I don't see any of those people in the store. I don't see any of those people when I'm out walking around. I don't see them when I'm hiking. I don't see them when I go to races. I just don't see them. It's so strange. It is so strange. I see a lot of really interesting people, cool people, but they just look like us, normal. They're not, I don't know. Do you see what I'm getting at here? And we need a lot less of that. We need people just being real, so that we can feel connected as a community, and not like, oh, I must be totally weird because I don't have a Rolex, and, all of the fans, I don't live in a mansion, and my kitchen's not clean every day, and sometimes I make my bed and sometimes I don't. That's true. We just need a lot more relatability, because then people wouldn't feel this, this need to feel crappy about themselves because they have wrinkles, or, there's recently a story in the news about Rachel Ward. Now I'm really dating myself. Do you remember the Thornbirds? Well, I barely remember. It actually was my Nana that would watch the Thornbirds. But this was like a series for all you young people. This was a series that was like, we looked forward to it coming on. It was like a romance thing. But Rachel Ward was the star of it, and she's gorgeous. And she's now an organic farmer. She's an organic farmer in Australia or something. But she's 68 now. And she's outside farming every day. And she's 68. And she looks 68. She looks fantastic, really. I mean, she looks very healthy, very, natural. Anyway, the comments online about her were horrendous. Do something about, and not from men, from women. Do something about yourself. Oh my gosh, you look terrible. Just horrific, right? And that's what this fake world is doing. It's making women and men now. I mean, men, you think you're getting off the hook. You're not. You're not. It's making people think that they actually can't be human. It's really abnormal now to just age. It's very weird. Very, very weird. Very weird. And so the more we can resist the ego, because it's the ego. That ego, right? Hey, just get a little Botox, you look a lot better, you're giving into the ego when you do things like that. And there are consequences. There are consequences to your health to giving into your ego. Now, the evil pushers, pharmacia, would have you think, oh, there's no consequences to this, but there is. And so we have this social pressure that's do something with yourself. You look like a 68-year-old woman. Well, that's because she is. And then we have this other side that's like, hey, come on over here. We can make you look different. And there are no consequences. Liar. Liar. The more you get Botox, the more Botox you got to get. You know why? Because it's breaking you down. It's breaking you down. The more filler you get, the more you got to get. And moves around, doesn't just stay there, you know? So there's a lot of consequences to this. So we're just creating such a sick society, you people. Like, really, these people are creating a sick society. So I say, like, have the courage to become a 68-year-old woman, you know? Listen, I'm 50. I'm not trying to be hot. I'm not trying to be hot anymore. You know, I'm trying to be somebody with wisdom, a leader. I'm trying to create change in my community. I'm trying to bring value so that my life has meaning, you know, and purpose. So, like, you know, it's just not everybody wants to be hot. You know what I'm saying? Like, hot's for porn. You know, I don't want to be in porn. Like, you know what I'm saying? Why do we all have to shoot for this one? Like, everybody's starting to look the same, you know, because hot is apparently long blonde hair, big lips, filler in your face, not a wrinkle in sight, you know, giant boobs, big butt. Like, this is now the standard of hot. And if we're not that, then we're supposed to be offended for not being hot. Well, I'm not offended. I'm not offended. I don't care. I don't care. I care about things that actually have meaning, you know? And so I think if we just gave each other permission to share things that just had more meaning to them, then there wouldn't be this massive focus on, you know, hotness. Who cares? I get it when you're young, you know, and you're trying to attract a mate and all that stuff. But, like, we've got, like, you know, we've got people who are famous for being nothing. You know, you're famous for selling stuff. The Kardashians are famous for selling stuff. Like, they're not actresses. They're not creators. They're, you know, they just sell stuff. And yet they are probably some of the most famous people in the world. And do you get what I'm getting at here? It's the most bizarre world, isn't it? It is the most bizarre world. Anyway, let's talk about our culture, because I've been doing this. I've been talking to you about this, how you do have a culture. There's a lot of forces out in the world that want to make you think that America does not have a culture. But in fact, we definitely do. We have an amazing culture. And I was thinking of things to talk about this today. One thing that came to mind was that this is, I think, is very distinctly American. And that is building something out of nothing. I feel like this is very unique to America. And the reason why I feel like it is first off, I thought of Las Vegas, right? You know, you see in the movies, especially in, like, you know, the gangster movies, the old time when the mafia used to run Vegas, you know, they put up this whole place in the middle of the desert, and people came. You know, they came to it. So that's kind of what sparked this idea of, you know, shining some light today on the fact that America is notorious for building something out of nothing. And so today I want to share 7 ways America built something out of nothing. Number 1, turning wilderness into communities, homesteading. Right? Early Americans settled land with no infrastructure, no roads, no utilities, no guarantees. They built towns through cooperation, craftsmanship, and commitment. Raw land, right? I don't know. I'm not equipped to do that today. Do you know anybody that is? I'm certain I know some people that are actually very equipped to do that today. These are the fixers that I was just talking about. Like, Lord, thank you for the fixers. Send us more. Send us more because we need them. And you know who you are. You know who you are. Come on now. If you're a fixer, you best be bringing up another little fixer in that family, okay? Because we need more fixers in this world, more builders. Number 2, building an economy from ideas, not inheritance. America didn't start with royalty or ancient wealth. It started with ideas. Started with property rights, contracts, free enterprise, and innovation. So that's opportunity-based prosperity. See, now that I just think about that, and I think about these people from Somalia that have come over here, and not just Somalia. I'm not just being, there's a lot of other people that have taken advantage of this. Everybody knows somebody that's milking the welfare system. I swear. Everybody knows somebody that is. Just think about it. Our ancestors that came and built something out of nothing. Then you have these people that come over, and in less than a year, they're worth tens of millions of dollars. And of course, Las Vegas, as I mentioned, another one. Vegas began as an empty desert. No water, no agriculture, no natural reason for a major city to exist there. But they did it. We talked about the Hoover Dam last week. Incredible. America building something out of nothing. We'll be right back.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen.
All of our specials for January are on our monthly flip book. So you can find our little digital catalog there at naturallyinspiredstore.com. All kinds of buy one, get one free skincare. We even have some household products on there. We have enzymes. We have minerals. Stock your wellness cabinet with the buy one, get one free. Everybody needs these tools on hand. If you have any questions at all, just text me 720-303-8868. Okay, let's get into some news, shall we? Because there's some good stuff going on. Actually, there's some very good stuff going on. Okay, so let's go to Trump. He announced the new healthcare proposal last week, but there's a little more to it I want to discuss. So take a listen to this.
Announced my plan to lower healthcare prices for all Americans and truly make healthcare affordable again. We're doing things that nobody's ever been able to do. We're calling it the Great Healthcare Plan. Instead of putting the needs of big corporations and special interests first, our plan finally puts you first and puts more money in your pocket. The government is going to pay the money directly to you. It goes to you, and then you take the money and buy your own health care. Nobody's ever heard of that before, and that's the way it is. The big insurance companies lose, and the people of our country win. This proposal locks in the massive discounts on prescription drugs that my administration is achieving through our most favored nation drug pricing agreement. Now, when you hear about that, for 40 years they've been trying to do it, but they never were able to do it. No other president was able to do it. I got every other country to approve it. by the use of tariffs and other things, they all approved it. Nobody else got it. No other president got it. And for the most part, they didn't even try because they felt it was impossible. It'll bring down drug prices 80, 90%, in some cases, just numbers that nobody's ever heard of before. Your prescription drugs will come way, way down. And under this policy, the prices of many drugs will be slashed by 300, 400, and even 500% starting this month at the TrumpRx.gov. So instead of Americans paying the highest drug prices in the world, which we have for decades, we will now be paying the lowest cost paid by any other nation. So any other nation that's paying the lowest cost, that's what we're going to pay. And the American people will get the saving.
It's so funny because the way he protects his approval rating, you know, where he's like, no other president has ever done this. No other president. It's like, it's almost like he's running again, you know, because he's always like pointing out what he's done, which I guess is just the Trump nature of Trump, which is fine. But I want to know this health savings account. Okay. I need more details here. I need a lot more details here because this sounds great. Like we're going to get health savings accounts instead of them giving subsidies to health insurance companies. They are going to give it straight to the American people. Sounds great. But, okay, I hate to be the bearer of like bad news here or whatever, but you know me, I'm a little skeptical. When someone tells me, when the government says they're going to give me money, I don't know, my spidey senses go up. You know what I'm saying? Like, what am I going to have to do for this money is the first question I have in my head. And then the second question is, okay, how are you going to dictate to where we can spend this money? Because see, this is the concern of mine. We have a hijacked medical model. It's been hijacked since the early 1900s, since Rockefeller medicine came onto the scene and used regulation to regulate the pharmaceutical model and the allopathic model of care into the gold standard of care, right? With the Flexner report and all of that, okay? So if that's still going to be the gold standard of care, then these health savings accounts, they're not going to do anything for me. They're not going to do anything for me because I don't buy into that model. It's not a health model. It's a disease management model. Now, maybe it will help me, God forbid, if I ever needed emergency care, maybe it would help me. But for the most part, it's not going to help a lot of people because there are many people that now understand that the allopathic model doesn't treat root cause. And many people do not want to settle for pharmaceuticals anymore. They actually want to understand how their body works and how to get their body back into homeostasis through lifestyle changes, which you can do, right? So I'm a little like, you know, where is this going to go? Because I say this, okay? So, you know, Trump put a cap on interest rates with credit cards, right? He said, for the next 12 months, you can't go over 10%. Great. Love it. Like I said, some great things are happening and I want to give them all the kudos in the world for doing the good things that they're doing. Okay. But here's the deal. Like you and I drive the marketplace. What you spend your money on, what I spend my money on, we're the consumers. And the choices we make where we spend our money, that shapes the marketplace. And so if we want this administration to support the things that we want, then we have to support those things too. You know what I'm saying? Like, kind of like, you know, if you really don't want McDonald's to use canola oil to fry their French fries because it creates oxidative stress in your body and leads to inflammation, then don't buy the fries. Everybody don't buy the fries, right? If that's an issue for you, don't buy the fries. I guess what I'm saying is don't keep putting up with BS and expect that you're going to get another option if you keep putting up with the BS, right? It goes back to the old thing that I always say all the time, like we teach people how to treat us. So if we're going to use the pharmaceutical model. We're going to go to the doctors and we're going to take that, medical slop that they tell us, oh, you got to take these pills, you got to do this. There's no other way. Then that's what we're going to continue to get. And that's where we'll be forced to spend our HSA dollars. So what if for the next year, let's just give it 12 months of mayhem in the medical field, where we can use these HSA dollars towards things like acupuncture, or maybe somatic massage, or maybe nutrition, or vitamins and minerals. Imagine that if we could actually spend our health dollars where we wanted them. What if, and I know I'm just getting totally crazy here, but what if our health savings account covered our gym membership? Or our pickleball membership, or our martial arts membership, right? What if it covered that? What if it covered our kids being active, and our families being active? And what if it covered vitamins and supplementation, right? Then after 12 months, we would start to see markers, because a free market will signal what people are getting results with, right? Because if they're not getting results, they don't keep buying it. So if you're not getting results from acupuncture, they're not going to keep buying it, And so let's listen to the marketplace. Wouldn't it be something to just kind of be able to see the improvement in Americans' health if they actually had some choice and some freedom over where they spent their health dollars? I think that would be fantastic. But unfortunately, I have a sneaking suspicion that these health savings accounts that we're going to get are going to have to be directed right back into this broken allopathic model. And I really hope that's not the case. I hope we're given some freedom. I understand not supporting, your grandma's sister's friend's aunt who's an energy healer who, swings a pendulum around you and walks in circles and, whatever, burns sage and tells you you're healed. I understand, the health savings account dollars not going towards that. But traditional Chinese medicine, herbs, massage is so beneficial, especially for people that deal with migraines, that deal with, tension, trauma release. That would be fantastic. People carry trauma in their tissues. How about some frequency stuff? We know sound baths are very effective. These are a lot of things that I bet you Trump doesn't know anything about. He doesn't strike me as the type of guy that would, know about a lot of this stuff. But Bobby Kennedy does. And so maybe, hopefully, he's getting in his ear a little bit and saying, we can direct these dollars. It's our money. If we misspend it, then we're out of luck. But this constant nanny state, well, it's not even a nanny state. They act like they're doing you a favor. Oh, well, we know what works. The science says. But it really is because they cut deals. They cut deals with, okay, we'll give you this if you give us that, right? We'll give you this if you give us that. He used tariffs, it sounds like. So maybe he's lightening the burden of tariffs on pharmaceuticals in exchange for not giving them a subsidy anymore. You see what I'm saying? It's always a negotiation. And somehow we don't ever seem to be a part of it. What we want doesn't necessarily come to fruition, which is we want more freedom with our health. I know we do. People talk to me about it all the time. You can't get out of the medical monopoly. My insurance doesn't cover it. My insurance, I'm barely making my premiums. I got a copay. I can't pay out of pocket for this. The American people need answers. We don't need dogmas and dances. Stop it. We'll be right back.
Did you know 80% of beef consumed in the U.S. comes from 4 major corporations? much of it being imported or processed with additives. Want real beef from a real farm? Pumpkin Creek Ranch does things the right way. Local, grass-fed, dry-aged beef with no additives, no shortcuts, just honest quality.
Pumpkin Creek Ranch beef is the real deal. I love knowing exactly where my meat comes from. No additives, no nonsense, just honest quality beef.
Best beef I've ever had. You can taste the difference. Rich, tender, and packed with real flavor. Plus, supporting a local ranch makes it even better.
From pasture to plate, they raise their cattle with care, so you can get rich, natural flavor that only real ranching can provide. Stock your freezer with premium beef you can trust. Visit pumpkincreekranchco.com or call 970-658-0176.
Pick your protocol and begin your transformation. Low energy, mental fog, stiff joints, stubborn weight is your body's way of saying it needs support. So choosing the right protocol gives your cells what they've been missing, replenishing energy, reducing inflammation, improving recovery, and bringing you back to feeling clear, strong, balanced again naturally. You can pick your protocol with free shipping at naturallyinspiredstore.com. Need help? Just text me 720-303-8868. Oh my goodness. Oprah's back on the scene, everybody. She went a little dark there for a while, don't you think? I didn't hear much from her. I don't know. I guess she has a podcast and all that stuff. I just, what a fall from grace. Do you remember when we used to come home from school and watch Oprah? I'm sure you did. I did. I mean, I feel like that just planted the seed of self-help in me, actually. Between Phil Donahue and Oprah Winfrey, I knew I could create a better life, I do think she did some valuable work back in the day, and we can't forget Dr. Phil, of course, right? I mean, you come home after school before your mom and dad come home, and that's what we watched a lot of times. But what a fall from grace Oprah has had, don't you think? Her true, again, I think it's the theme of just losing connection to real people, becoming a part of the cult, an elitist cultist, because that's what it is. And of course, we've seen the pictures with Oprah. She associates with all kind of cultists and globalists and all that. John of God, all that craziness, right? So, bit of a fall from grace, I would say. I remember when Oprah was so popular that people used to say, you should run for president, right? I don't think she'd be making it to president now, even like her biggest fans no longer approve of her. She really did herself a lot of damage, I feel like, during COVID, when she was telling everybody, go get your vaccine, go get your vaccine. You're just a terrible person if you don't get it, and all that stuff, right? Yeah, she's just not the fun, lovable Oprah of the 90s, late 80s, what have you. Anyway, she's back on the scene in the mainstream. She went on The View the other day, and she said something that I was like, oh, Lord. She said that, she has a disease of obesity, and obesity causes you to overeat. So it's like you're born with obesity. You're born with obesity, and it causes you to overeat, and you get something called food noise. And this is why you'll never be skinny. You'll never be a healthy weight, because you have this obesity gene, right? You have this obesity problem. And I just thought, you know what? You're evil. Telling people that they can't lose weight because they have an obesity gene. And that the only way to do it, of course, is GLP-1s. And it just so happens that Oprah, she sat on the board and she still has some affiliation with Weight Watchers. She merged with Weight Watchers, invested in it. And then, of course, Weight Watchers used to be a wellness brand. Now, I got my problems with Weight Watchers too. They were a big part of diet culture, and they did a lot of damage because their whole model was a deprivation model, right? You just whittle down your calories by eating rice cakes and, eat light, eat salad, eat stuff that doesn't work with your hormones, right? Your biological hormones of hunger and satiety. Just white knuckle it out, right? Just willpower. And, when Weight Watchers started selling lifetime memberships, I think that was pretty clear, right? They weren't teaching anybody anything if you needed a lifetime membership to keep coming back to Weight Watchers. So not a big fan of Oprah's business endeavor with Weight Watchers, of course. But then they added this extra layer because, it's one thing to try to teach people to count calories and stuff like that through lifestyle. They were a wellness brand. But when Oprah came along, they became a pharmaceutical brand. They actually started, distributing GLP-1s through telehealth. And so they became this. And so Oprah has been a spokesperson for the GLP-1s since then. And I just think that is like, turning people into victims is not the way forward. And so it's just really disappointing. She just keeps on and her priority is clearly her business, and she could care less because you can overcome obesity. It's about understanding how your brain works, because weight is a brain issue. It is balancing hormones, and when those hormones are triggered to create satiety in the body, and you have calibrated your hormones because you eat adequate amounts of protein and adequate amounts of fat, and you hydrate and you get good sleep so it doesn't mess up those hormones even more by having elevated levels of cortisol, your body stops trying to save you from through storing fat, and it begins to let go of that. And you don't need willpower at that point because you understand how your brain works, and you eat to control your happy brain and control your hormones. Oprah, I don't know how old she is now. Gosh, she's got to be getting up there, right? She's probably late 60s, I would say. She still has not figured that out. She still has not figured that out because she has food noise, And the food noise that she's talking about is a biological response. It's called ghrelin. And if you don't eat food that is satiating, then you're always going to have food noise, right? And it's not as simple as that because, when we don't get enough sleep, that impacts our hormones. It impacts insulin resistance. It impacts cortisol levels. And so that's another variable in there. But listen, the first step is recalibrating your brain and learning how to eat to satiety. Lots of protein, right? 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, plus healthy fats on top of that, plus volume for healthy microgut biome, movement to help your body with insulin resistance. You've got to have muscle. Like, these are the things that come together. And again, there's absolutely no mention of the side effects. And they've already got a class action lawsuit on GLP-1s. It's just so incredibly disappointing. Oh, I'm over it. Who cares, right? It's Oprah. She doesn't disappoint me anymore. I know who she is. I know who her affiliations are. And I know what her priorities are. But I want everybody else to know that you don't have to stay in victim mode. It isn't something that you cannot change. Okay? You may have a story, like we talked about in the Naturally Inspired Moment, that says you've tried everything and nothing's worked. But that actually is not true. Because if you try high protein, high fat, regulate your sleeping patterns. It may take some work, but once you get your body out of survival mode and into balance, it will work. I've seen it time and time again. So, don't listen to The View. Of course, if you're listening to this, you probably don't anyway. Another story I wanted to bring to your attention, because I got, Bill Maher. I think this was actually a clip. I didn't bring it today because I think it's an old clip. He talks about COVID, and it's been 4 years, he says in the clip. Maybe you saw it on X. It was going kind of viral again. So in this little monologue he says, it's been 4 years and, we didn't get COVID right. Again, another elitist. Do you really think that, Bill Maher with no kids, with his mansion, with his empire there, do you think he was really that, inconvenienced through COVID? Because I saw a video of him. He was interviewing somebody, or he was being interviewed, and I think it was somebody from like Entertainment Tonight. And the Entertainment Tonight hostess, she was wearing a mask, but Bill Maher wasn't, And again, like the elitists, they're not living the same life that you and I are. Anyway, he goes on to say, we got it wrong, and, we should have maybe not closed the schools down, and, we shouldn't have done this and we shouldn't have done that. But the point being, again, let's go back to Ellen. Is she in the streets in Minnesota? Right? Is she out there fighting? Is she getting run over? Is she having to put her life on the line like ICE agents are from crazies that apparently want Somalis to steal their money? No, she's not. She's just preaching to you from her mansion. Same as Bill Maher. And so I just wanted to remind you today that there are real people, young people especially, and it occurred to me when I heard this clip that, this is actually, COVID is a part of my children's stories. When they grow up and they get older, their grandkids are going to ask them about COVID, and they're going to have stories from it. Take a listen.
Just a few years ago, 50% of people would have gladly sent me to a concentration camp for refusing to let the government inject a pharmaceutical product into my arm. But now I'm supposed to act like everything's all good and they won't turn on me again the next time that the government tricks them. Nah, that's BS. From this point on, I'm only going to surround myself with people who actually care about their health. And
I think a lot of people his age feel that way, and that's what they're carrying around. So, we have these generations that we describe, the silent generation, we have the greatest generation, we have Gen X, and there's been some pretty standout things that define our generation. And I talked about this, I think last week. I said, claim your generation. Claim it. Stop apologizing for it, right? Stop apologizing for it. But beware. Beware. There's a whole younger generation that part of their childhood is that. 50% of the population wanted me to take an experimental medical intervention that would have quite possibly given me myocarditis or stick me in a camp. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back with your health topic.
Did you know that nearly 70% of Americans struggle with their health every single day? That's why we are reaching out to health professionals and to anyone who simply has a heart for helping people. Right now, there's an opportunity to make a real difference in people's lives while building a flexible income stream for yourself. Whether you're already working in health, wellness, or just passionate about seeing people thrive, we want to connect with you and introduce you to our system. Together, we can provide real solutions that empower people to take control of their health and create lasting impact. If you've been looking for a way to combine purpose with income, this is it. Visit simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448 That's simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. We look forward to working with you.
Welcome back. You can schedule a free assessment with me. If you'd like to sit down and discuss your optimum health goals, you can do it. You can book now at naturallyinspiredstore.com. If you got just a simple question you want to ask, text me 720-303-8868. Be happy to connect with you and get you on your optimum health journey in the Naturally Inspired community. All right, for today's health topic, we're talking about collagen because as I'm meeting with people, I'm realizing, some of you are very new here. You've only been watching for a couple of weeks or so. I have talked a lot about collagen because it's one of my, what I call my hero products in my partnered product line, because I have myself experienced the benefit of supplementation with collagen. And of course, working with you, I've seen your results with this particular liquid BioCell collagen as well, because it is low molecular weight and highly absorbable. There are still people out there that think collagen you can't get anything out of supplementing with collagen. So I thought, I better cover this again because there's a lot of people that, have some misinformation, if you will, when it comes to collagen. So 7 ways today for your health topic that collagen works in the body and why it matters, okay? Collagen is the body's structural framework. I've explained this, right? So we have like a scaffolding inside our body. When you cut into a steak, it's that silvery stuff that you see in the steak or sometimes in chicken. And that's fascia. That's kind of the scaffolding that holds the whole body together. Well, that's hydrated by collagen. When we don't have collagen, that fascia gets very stiff. And that's why as we age, a baby walking around, a little toddler walking around, they're little collagen factories. They fall down, they practically bounce, right? They get back up and no damage. We look at the baby falling, and it's like, oh my gosh, if I fell like that, I'd probably break my hip. That's because we don't have near amount the collagen production that they do. Okay, so it's very important that as we age, we want to supplement with collagen because that fascia needs hydration. When it's not hydrated, we're stiff. We lose mobility. So very, very important. Collagen makes up about 30% of all protein in the human body. It's the scaffolding that holds tissues together, skin, bones, muscle, tendons, ligaments, and organs. Without enough collagen, the body literally loses integrity, leading to weakness, sagging, and breakdown. You ever see that kind of like hunching that happens in elderly people? This is a contributing factor, lack of collagen. Number 2, it keeps skin firm, elastic, and hydrated. Collagen forms like mesh structure in the dermis, and that gives skin its strength, its elasticity, and smoothness. As collagen declines with age, starting in your 20s, skin becomes thinner, drier, and more prone to wrinkles. Now listen, I know I'm not on Facebook, but I know you all are on Facebook, and you're looking at the people you went to high school with and you're going, oh my gosh, do I look that old? Right? Because there are some people that actually lose collagen faster, and things like smoking and drinking and high exposure to toxicity contribute to rapid loss of collagen. Okay, so you want to be supplementing with this. Also, collagen cushions and protects your joints. Collagen is a major component of cartilage, which acts as a shock absorber between joints. No lie here, okay? I had a radio listener one time who was a nurse. She wrote to me to let me know that she was on the wait list to get a knee surgery, and she had been told that she had bad knees. bad knees. Oh, I played volleyball in high school and I got bad knees. And she was on the wait list to get a surgery, and she was trying to get it worked out so that it, didn't interfere with her daughter's wedding. And she had all these other things going on. And she heard me talk about collagen, and she ordered it and she got it, and it was 9 weeks. 9 weeks. And she took her name off the list. She was like, I'm not going to do it because it was gone. So, and that's very real. I have people that, they put their collagen budget first, because when they don't take it, they know it, they feel it. So don't underestimate collagen. It's a major component. So low collagen contributes to joint stiffness, aches, reduced mobility, and slower recovery after activity, which, that can prevent you right there. Like when we talk about thought patterns and what keeps you from doing the things that you need to be doing, this is one of those things. Stiffness, lack of mobility, aches. Oh, I don't really feel like going to the gym. I'm kind of achy. That's just the trigger you need to give yourself permission to not move. Okay? So this is important for overall lifestyle. It supports gut lining and digestive integrity. So collagen provides key amino acids like glycine and proline that help maintain the intestinal barrier, that mucosa that we always talk about, the gut lining. A strong gut lining supports nutrient absorption, immune balance, and reduces gut permeability issues. That's that leaky gut that so many people are dealing with, right? Which creates inflammation in the body. So you've got to do a two-prong approach when you have permeability in the gut. It's a heal and seal. So you got to stop putting the infiltrators in, right? So the highly processed foods, the seed oils that create the GMO stuff that create the permeability in the stomach lining that leads to leaky gut. You've got to stop putting that in, and then you've got to work on sealing it. And collagen is one of the most important things that you can take to help seal that gut barrier. Number 5, it strengthens bones. So it's not just about calcium. I know we hear calcium. But bones are not just minerals. They're a collagen matrix, and they're reinforced with calcium and phosphorus. But without collagen, bones become brittle, even if calcium intake is adequate. Okay, so if you're taking calcium, but you're not taking collagen, you've still got higher risk there. Number 6, it supports hair, nails, and connective tissue. And this is the thing that everybody thinks about when they think about collagen. They think about skin, right? They think about youth. I think it's been heavily marketed as a beauty product. And yeah, it is a beauty product in a sense, right? It helps with skin, hair, nails, that type of thing. But man, the health benefits from it far outweigh the beauty product part of it, the beauty result part of it. Collagen supplies building blocks used in keratin production and connective tissue repair. So low collagen often shows up as brittle nails, thinning hair, slow wound healing. That's a big one. If you've got some wounds and they're not healing for you, you need more collagen. Okay, you need to get collagen into your daily routine, and weaker tissues as well. If you just have, you've been struggling with weaker tissue, you're bruising easy or getting scrapes and stuff. You want to thin skin. You want to make sure that you're supplementing with collagen. It also helps regulate inflammation and recovery. So certain collagen amino acids help calm the nervous system. They support tissue repair, and they aid recovery after stress and exercise. So it's very important. Adequate collagen supports faster healing, better sleep quality, and a healthier inflammatory response. And aren't we all working on less inflammation? I mean, the air we breathe, the toxins in our home, like the food. I think we all feel overwhelmed by the toxicity in our world today. And we all have to be actively working on inflammation. When we talk about these health savings accounts, it's like, yeah, let's get to what really matters here. We're popping over-the-counter pain medication a lot of the time because we feel like we don't have any other choice. We're not getting the tools that we need to help ourselves, that doesn't have a consequence to it. Of course, you take NSAIDs, you're looking at thinning hair, you're looking at gut problems, you're looking at, other issues. You're kicking a can down the road that ultimately ends with more consequences. Whereas when you start with nutrition, like collagen, specifically, the liquid biocell that I highly recommend, it's from chicken sternate. So it is the best source of collagen that you can get collagen from is from chicken sternates, the sternum of a chicken. It's at a low molecular weight, meaning it's very tiny, nanoparticles that are highly absorbed into the body. So starts absorption as soon as you put it into your mouth. And so it's really good for people that already have gut issues. So we all got to be working on inflammation because as you're living in this world, you're exposed to toxins that create inflammation. So prevention is the key, right? Every day, sunshine, great for inflammation, right? Especially early morning sunshine, if you can do it, great for inflammation. Movement, great for inflammation, but you got to support the recovery as well, right? Mobility is independence. So important, all this focus on aesthetics and I look this way and I look that, you need to look this way, you need to look that way. Listen, I guarantee you, when you get to your late 70s, you're not going to care so much if your lips are big. You're going to care if you can get off the toilet by yourself. That's what's really going to matter. It's going to be the difference between you going to the bathroom on your own and having to have a nursemaid or your kid help you off the toilet. This is what's important, right? I mean, those are my goals now. Yeah, sure. Everybody wants to look and feel their best. I'm not trying to diminish the urge to want to look good and feel good. I think that's very healthy. I don't think this augmentation, weird, fake world we're creating online is healthy. Right? That's not healthy. You've leaned over into a different paradigm there, into augmentation, which is, it's not health. Okay? Nutrition is health. Supplementation is health. You're giving the body the raw materials it needs to express itself with health. That's very important. These other things, they're weird. They're weird, and we ought to call them out for being weird, But we don't, because everybody's so, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, or I don't want to, get into real trouble because nobody wants to tell the truth. I think a lot of our problems have actually come from that. Nobody wants to just say the truth, because the truth may be painful. But how do we get past this if we don't face the truth, right? So collagen isn't just a beauty protein. It is a foundational health protein. You need it. We stop making it enough when we get a little older. Chronic stress also contributes to lack of collagen, blood sugar imbalance, nutrient deficiencies. That's why intentional collagen support becomes non-negotiable for whole body health. Get your Pure is my favorite. I don't go without my Pure liquid collagen, and you can get it at naturallyinspiredstore.com. All right, everybody. See you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Thanks for being here.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio. Save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, Dive into long-form podcast conversations and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. NaturallyInspiredRadio.com.